floor.
What's up guys, DJiz NZ here for Uanuku Journeys. You may remember a few vlogs ago I talked a little bit about no borders, self-sustainability, new social, economic designs, that kind of thing. Well, this vlog I really wanted to give to you guys my insights a little bit more on what I was talking about back then. Pretty much I want to start with a resource-based economic model. Now, resource-based economy is basically a new social design that was first thought about by Jacques Fresco. He is a social engineer, futuristic architect, and he basically looked at ways of designing a new future social design whereby a resource-based economic model is a system where there is no money, there is no barter, and there is ultimately no servitude. So all in essence, it's a social system where you'd say, for instance, go to a food center, get what food you need. Most of the food centers and all of the places that you get your resources from are automated. You go get a car and get what car you need, use it, drop it off somewhere, someone else uses it. Pretty much like a library, if you can imagine that. So the social system basically is you don't own anything. Society owns the resources, and at the end of the day we don't come into this world with resources, we just use them while we can. So why not use them in the most efficient, sustainable way? This is what a resource-based economic system basically points towards. It's a new social design based on efficiently using our resources. And not only that, decisions are arrived at rather than who makes the decisions. Are the decisions from a government? I mean, in a monetary-based system, we have politicians who basically make decisions. They make decisions about finance, and some of the decisions are terrible. Well, most of the decisions are terrible. In a resource-based economic model, decisions will be arrived at through a system whereby you integrate with technology, and we look at ways of creating sensors, so that'll tell us what resources we have available. It's like a calculator. You have a calculator, you put the right information in, it'll calculate the answer for you. Exactly the same. We need to look at ways of utilizing our technology for that. So a resource-based economic model is pretty much running along those same principles and along those same lines. It's pretty much unheard of, although the idea coined by Jacques Fresco, futurist, basically got a lot of the ideas from the indigenous people. He went to the Pacific and saw how the majority of the indigenous people there were sharing, how they'll come back with food and give it out to the community. Everyone participated in the community, contributed in the community, so it was a really well-knit community. The thing we have now today is that we've advanced our technology so far that we can now let technology do most of the jobs for us, and in fact it's happening on a fast, rapid basis anyway. Automation has taken over people's jobs. The number one contributor to unemployment in the world is automation. They call it technological unemployment. You can Google it. Basically, it's where machines, robots, automation takes over people's jobs. You go to a supermarket nowadays, you've only got like 1 or 2 checkout operators. You mainly check out yourself on the kiosk because automation has been created there now. I remember back in the 90s there were like 20 checkout operators. Now there's only a couple. So that's an example just to give you of how much technological unemployment is actually ramping up in society, and it's going to even get worse. So if people can't get a job, they can't purchase, which this capitalist system relies on. It relies on people to consume. So when you don't have the purchasing power, you don't get the basic necessities of life. So the actual social system itself is redundant and obsolete. And this is the initiative that we look at. There's a whole bunch of us worldwide as a movement who advocate this direction. We need something to change. If we don't change it, it's going to get worse and worse, and not only will more people die, but we're going to really destroy our planet, and we don't want to really head down that path. A UBI, which is a universal basic income. I see a universal basic income as a transition towards a resource-based economic model, meaning that I still see problems having a UBI, and I know a lot of other people see problems, but it will probably be a lot more better to get our people out of poverty having a UBI. UBI is basically where everyone gets a certain amount of money every week from government. Doesn't matter if you're working or not. It's pretty much like a benefit for everyone, a superannuation for everyone. This will decrease poverty numbers, will decrease crime and all that kind of thing, so people will have the purchasing power, because at the end of the day people just want resources. They want the basic necessities of life: food, shelter, water, having that human contact, connection. Those are the necessities. There's a whole bunch more of necessities as well, but those are the ones that majority of people are going out there every day to go to work, is to get those basic necessities of life. And the majority of people out there hate their jobs. They don't want to go to work, but they have to. Why? Because they need to survive. In a resource-based economic model, we go beyond that. You have access to resources, which means you don't have to get into survival mode. You have access to food, you have access to things you want to create with, camera gear, whatever thing you need to be creative, to express yourself. It brings about a new way of thinking, brings about new incentives. What will I do? People will say. Well, there are plenty of things to do when you don't have to work as a slave. Things like creating, designing, your passions, exploring, travel, family time, recreation, self-development, self-actualization. These are the things we don't really focus on too much, because A, we don't have the money, and B, we don't have the time. So having said that, a resource-based economic model is an updated model to what we currently have. The future, I would say the kids of the future will design something even better. A resource-based economic model is not a utopia. It is not a finality. There are no utopias, there are no finalities. There is no best laptop. The laptop that comes out today will most likely be obsolete in a couple of years' time. Something else will come out that's faster, quicker, smaller, and better to use. And that's because of our advancements and our knowledge accruing over the time. We come across new designs and new ways of thinking, so we have new inventions. So there is no finality, there is no utopia at all. We're on this, what we call emergence of evolution. And we call it an emergent society. So if you are in an emergent society, it means that you have understandings. Beliefs basically put you in this place where that's it. It's a static thing. You can't change it. That's it. Pretty much like religion, I'll go out and say that, where you are given the ultimate, this is it, you can't change it, we need to stick by that. An emergent society is one where we learn new understandings. It's a lot to wrap your head around in one vlog, I can understand. I mean, for me, I've been on this journey for the past 7 to 10 years, so I've been lecturing and giving symposiums and presentations on this direction, because I see a lot of the social problems that we see today are actually symptoms of the actual social system. Things like crime, greed, poverty, structural violence, all that kind of thing are just symptoms. The actual root cause is the social system itself. It's creating all these symptoms, and we mainly as a society in a capitalist system band-aid it up, we cover it up, we shove it under the mat without actually dealing with the actual root cause itself. So the root cause is the actual social system itself. So we need to look at replacing it. We need to create a better model which makes the older model obsolete. And that was a quote coined by Buckminster Fuller. I'll leave that quote down below as well for you guys. So this is just some of my insights and thoughts, just to let you guys know what I'm thinking about and what I'm getting myself involved with, that my thoughts are with the betterment of the whole for everybody and to do good for everyone. So a resource-based economic model is the way to go. And who wouldn't want to travel the world in any country? I mean, if we go with a resource-based economic model, there will be no borders. There will be no, this is New Zealand, that is Australia. I mean, hypothetically saying, I'm just saying this hypothetically, if we go to another civilization in another galaxy or solar system, and we come across them and they say to us, where are you from? I'm not going to say I'm from New Zealand. He's from India, he's from Great Britain, he's from England. I mean, how stupid is that? We need to come together. We need to come together as a global family. This is our organic spaceship, Earth. It's flying through space, so we are all part of it. Let's look after it and use it in the most sustainable and efficient way that we know how. And I think these are my thoughts, so I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from. And if you guys resonate with any of this, leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think. Love to hear what you guys think. And also let me know down below, guys, what you guys would do if you had access to money and resources, if you didn't have to have a job. What would you do with yourself? Yeah, I'll be interested to know and hear from you guys, because I always say this to people: what would you do if you had access to resources, if you had the basic necessities of life? So let me know that down below, guys. It'll be good to hear from you guys and see what you guys think. Thank you, guys. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Experience the journey, inspire others, live life, guys.
Flor